Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing episode on Life with Mokes. For every single person that has been wondering why I didn't post last week, it's because I recorded like a whole video, and trust me when I say that it was super interesting. But then in between my video, for the bulk of it, my microphone died, and I just didn't know. So it was very frustrating. And then I wasn't feeling well as well. My son wasn't feeling well too, as well as my husband. So I couldn't actually get to do another post on time. But anyways, I'm here now, and today we're going to be talking about something super interesting. So I came across a video on Instagram where this girl was asking a question. It was like a couples seminar, or like a relationship rather seminar, and she was asking, and she said, "Oh, I met this guy. We've been friends for about 1 year, 1 to 2 years, and we've been very close. We do everything together. He treats me with respect. We talk all the time. People think we're dating, but we're not. And I'm currently just thinking of asking him what we are, because I've put the question to him stylishly, but then he's not giving a definite answer. And this led me to wanting to talk about situationships. So today we'll be talking about situationships, yes, because in 2023 there are a lot of people who are in relationships that they are not committed to. In fact, it's almost like you are subconsciously in a relationship without knowing. You are playing wife duties to somebody who hasn't asked you officially to be their girlfriend, or who hasn't asked officially to court you, if that's a better term for it. So we're going to go into the whole gist of what a situationship is. If you'd like to hear more, please don't go away. Stay with me. So I remember when I first met my husband, if you want to know how we met, I'm going to add the link down below so you can watch. I remember we had been talking, obviously our first meeting wasn't that great. Because I felt like he was giving me an attitude, even though he's explained multiple times that he wasn't. But I felt like he was. But anyways, we ended up becoming friends, and we were talking every other day. Like, it was platonic friendship. There was nothing, nothing, no intentions or whatever. And I remember one time he just ghosted me, like he just wasn't talking to me, like he wasn't texting me or calling me, and I was feeling a type of, I was like, oh, why hasn't he texted me or called me? And then I started asking myself questions that, am I starting to catch feelings? So I don't understand what's going on. Like, you say, I'm starting to catch some feelings that I did not plan for. So I pretty much just picked the phone, and then I called him, and I was like, hey, I noticed that you haven't been texting me. What's going on? And then he explained, and I was like, well, you know what, I felt like so bad about it and everything. And I just wanted to ask you, why are you constantly texting me and constantly calling me? Like, what is the purpose of this friendship? And mind you, we had been talking for a while, probably like close to 6 months or something. And he went on to say, oh, I'm just getting to know you as a friend. I don't have any intentions. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. No problem. Fine. Some people would have taken that information very, taken it the other way. I was obviously disappointed, because somewhere I was, in my mind somewhere, I was hoping, oh, he would say, oh, he liked me. But then the fact that he said he didn't want to be, he didn't want to get to know me or anything with the intentions of dating, was good, because then it gave me perspective on what we truly were at the time, and it helped me just set boundaries. So I said all of this to say that I remember talking to one of my friends at the time. I was like, you know what, this guy has been texting and calling me, and she's like, Omo, just talk to him and find out what's going on. Find out how far. Why is he constantly hovering around you if he doesn't want anything serious? And I was telling her how I had a friendship with the other opposite sex that really burnt me. You know what I mean? It ended up being very messy. Feelings were caught. There was no commitment. Hearts were broken. My heart especially was broken. It took me a while to get over it. You know what I mean? And so I just didn't want a repeat of that. So the first thing I like to say is that most of the time when you're in a situationship, it's not planned. You know what I mean? You don't set out and say, oh, today I'm going to look for a guy friend that I want to be in a situationship with. It's usually a thing of, oh, you're friends with this guy, and then you catch feelings without knowing, and then you're like, okay, what's going on? And then the guy is not willing to commit, and then you just find yourself in this box where it's like, oh, I like this person, but then they're not saying anything. Should I hang around? Am I good enough? And it goes on and on and on. My sisters, my brothers, because it's not just for girls, for guys as well, you need to know your value and know your worth. That's the first thing. Because at the end of the day, people come into your lives for various reasons. People come into your lives for various seasons. However, you are in control of the people that have access to your life. Because most of the time, it's almost like I don't have control over the feelings. Like I don't have control over, like how I feel towards this person. And then you're just like, finding yourself spiraling. You're like, it's a spiral down into like this box of, oh my god, like I don't know what to do. But you do have control. And I'll tell you how you have control. Number one, by setting boundaries. I genuinely don't think, and correct me if I may be wrong, but I genuinely don't think that guys and girls can be best friends, like without any context. So obviously there are always outliers, like people that grow up together or have separate relationships. But when you have like an isolated relationship with a guy, and like it's not like, oh, we're in a group of friends, or like, oh, we grew up together, or there's no context to the friendship, if you know what I mean. Usually it always ends up in one person or the other catching feelings. So the first thing is setting boundaries. If you have somebody in your life who is a guy that is constantly texting, calling you, wanting to spend time with you, and you know that this is someone that you're not willing or that's not ready to commit to you, then you have to tell them to cut back. Be honest and be like, oh, I'm sorry, like I can't allow you, like you can't text me continuously, which is what I said. Like I told my husband, like eventually I was like, oh, okay, you know what, that means like we're not going to be able to talk as often, as this. And genuinely, every time, sometimes when he called, like after we had a conversation, I'll be looking at the phone like this is ringing. I'm like, okay, I'm not picking the call. Or he will text me. I will intentionally like respond like hours later, because I wanted to pass a message across to say, you don't have this access to me. If you want to be my friend, fine. I have guy friends, but then I treat them, I set boundaries in my relationship with the opposite gender, and I have certain times where you cannot call me and you cannot text me. So I let him know. So you can do the same thing. I'm like, okay, you know what? I hear you, but I'm not available for your multiple calls. And the worst part is when these people actually, they have the people that they like, but then they keep coming back to you with their emotional needs. So it's like, oh, I really like, and you're just there. I really like this girl. I've tried everything, and she's not responding the way I want her to. And then you're just there, oh, saying, oh, sorry, you're really a great guy. I know that, eventually you'll find the woman of your dreams. What of you that you're standing in front of him? Are you a broom? Are you a stick? Are you a mop? Why is it that his eyes have not been open to give you that commitment that he's willing to give every other person? And another thing I want to say is that guys know what they want. If a guy wants you, you're not going to have to force him. You're not going to have to throw yourself and almost like be desperate, where it's like you're begging for the relationship. If a guy wants you, you would not have to do too much for him to let you know. He would be straight up and tell you, okay, I want to be in a relationship with you. Like, it's not a hide and seek thing, especially when you get to a certain age. It's like, come on, we're not children. If you want to be with me, say you want to be with me, and then let's get into this. Otherwise, please don't waste my time. That's another thing. When you have like a prolonged relationship with a guy that you like and you think likes you, and then there's no definition, it's absurd. It's like, it's not ideal. You know what I mean? Like, some people like, oh yeah, don't ever take anything too deep. Let's see how it goes. My sister, it's not a matter of let's see how it goes, because you have control, like I said, over your life and over your relationship and over how you want things to be. If God has said that you are loved, you are cherished, you are valued, you can't just let anybody waste your time. Like, why are you coming and wasting my time? For what reason? And then you hear them say, oh, I like you, but I'm not ready to commit. It's not you, it's me. My dear, I understand that, but go and fix yourself. You know what I mean? Like, fix yourself. And when you're ready for something, if I'm still available, just maybe. But I probably would have been taken by then anyways. So you need to see yourself as somebody of value. You need to be able to define it. Don't be afraid to tell the guy, what are we? I know that question is like, oh, you're asking a guy, what are we? It's going to push him away. Well, if he's pushed away by that question, that means he's not man enough. That means that he was never even ready for a committed relationship in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong. You should not be asking what are we when, you guys have not known each other for long enough. And long enough is subjective to you, right? It just depends on how often you guys talk and how transparent you guys have been, right? But generally speaking, I feel like, if you've been talking to somebody 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and then There's no conversation around, okay, what we are intending to do. That question should come up. Yeah, what are we? And say it with your full chest. Don't be afraid to say, oh, what are we? And another thing is, if the person tells you that they are not ready for a relationship, they are not ready to commit to you, do not hang around. Have self-worth and self-respect. Value yourself enough to walk away. Because I feel like sometimes we love the idea of being in a relationship so much that we just disrespect ourselves. Because I'm talking from a place of experience as well. Just because you love the idea of being in a relationship, you don't want to be single, you don't want to be alone, that you just take rubbish, absolute nonsense from anybody around you just because you just need that validation of, oh, I'm in a relationship. So even if the guy is abusing you physically, even if physically, emotionally, even if he's not treating you well, even if he's just like, oh, today he'll talk to you, tomorrow he'll ghost you, next tomorrow he'll talk to you, tomorrow he'll ghost you. You don't care just because you want to be in a relationship. When you ask for definition and he says he doesn't give you a definite answer, because sometimes they might be like, oh, okay, let's see how it goes. Nah, that's not acceptable, G. We're not taking that. Or he says, oh, I don't want anything. Then walk away, carry yourself and walk away. Finally, I just want to say, at the end of the day, God's intention for you is not to be with somebody who is unsure about whether they want to be with you. No. The Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and has obtained favor from God. So anybody that's finding you, know that that person is going to obtain favor. So they are lucky and blessed to have you, just as you are lucky and blessed to have them. It's never a thing of, oh, I'm the one that the guy is helping by being with me. No, it's vice versa. You are a queen, he's a king. So if the person is unable to see it, then just carry your bag and vamos, hallelujah. So I just wanted to encourage everyone out there that is in one kind of situationship or the other. This is the chance, or this is the time to take control of your life. Don't let anybody just waste your time. Don't let anybody just put you on this roller coaster of emotions. Oh, today he likes me, or today he doesn't. No, it doesn't work that way. When he wants you, he will chase you, and you will accept if you want to be with him. That's just how, like, it's that simple. We don't have to make things complicated. But anyways, that's pretty much what I have to say about this topic. So if you stay till the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I hope to see your comments. I hope to see you like. I hope to see you share. And I'll be seeing you on the next episode. Have a good night. Bye.